Why this particular project as a manufacturing project is also important, it is in agriculture. We know that as a nation, we more often than not, we export a lot of our agricultural produce and processed or without value addition. And we know that without adding value to agricultural products, we can never be able to remunerate our farmers to the extent they would expect. And so for us, again, it's important that instead of just harvesting mango and exporting, that we are involved in this value addition of mango and eventually the other two fruits, pineapple and passion fruits as well. Because we believe that way the farmer stands to gain, and with additional income in the pockets of the farmer will be able to actually create at the farm level jobs, because that is where creation of jobs starts.
The event today, as you pointed out, was to mark the acquisition of a 51% stake in Feastfoods Processors Limited. This is a Kenyan company that is in the business of processing fruits to produce puree and concentrate that will be sold to mainly to the juice industry locally and abroad, but to also other food processors who might use the fruit puree products. So Funguo Investments Limited takes a 51% stake alongside our partners in this venture, who are actually the founders of Feastfoods, that is Next Estate Company Limited. That's a Kenyan, a locally owned company owned by a family here in Kenya. The total venture will be worth about 425 million. There will be follow-on ventures that we believe will take the entire value of the business to about $1 billion. But in this first phase, we are putting in, as you pointed out, 49% for the Next Estate and 51% for Funguo Investments. That's a total of just slightly over 150 million shillings. The balance of that number will come from debt. We expect to break ground somewhere late in May this year. And then installation will, at groundbreaking, that should allow us to essentially start or commence the civil works that are required. As it is, we already have land in place, and we do have a factory building in place, but some works need to take place. The equipment, as we mentioned, we've already started conversations with suppliers, and we expect the equipment to be in place later in the year, so that then we're able to commission the factory late in October, early November latest. Our factory should, on an annual basis, should produce roughly about 30,000 tons of puree and concentrate. Out of that, we figure that roughly about 50% will be targeted to the local market and 50% to the export market. But it could very well be, based on the amount of interest that we've seen amongst the producers of ready-to-drink juices, it could very well be that well over 50% will end up in the local market. We believe we are going to be competitive from a quality and price perspective, and therefore we should have no issues whatsoever accessing these markets. And we do have the relationships, both at Funguo and but also our partners at Next Estate, that would allow us to be able to crack these markets. I think what I need to point out is at this phase of our life, that is as Feastfood Processors, we will be supplying other businesses. So we will not have a brand that you'll see on the shelves that will say a product of Feastfoods Limited. We'll be supplying processors. That will happen later this year. That is getting these products through to consumers. That is the industrial consumers, because that's the kind of consumers that we are looking at.